Okay, so today we're going to talk about something that's a huge part of our digital lives, whether we realize it or not, parasocial bonds. We're talking about that really weird but really powerful feeling that the people we watch online are our actual friends. I mean, let's just dive right in. Have you ever felt, a real twinge of sadness when your favorite streamer signs off for the night? Or does a YouTuber's weekly video feel less like content and more like just catching up with a buddy? If any of that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. This is exactly what we're digging into today. And look, first things first, this feeling, it isn't automatically a bad thing. Not at all. In fact, a lot of the time, these connections can be pretty positive. So let's start with why they even form and how they can be a real comforting connection. So there's actually a name for this, a parasocial bond. Basically, it's a one-way street, psychologically speaking. It's a relationship where you get to know a ton about a media figure, their personality, their inside jokes, their life stories, but, well, they have no idea who you are. It's kind of an illusion of friendship, but it's one our brains are surprisingly ready to just go with. So why do our brains do this? Well, think about it. For those times when we feel a bit isolated or the world just feels kind of chaotic and uncertain, these one-way relationships can act like an emotional anchor. They're a predictable, steady source of comfort and fun, and honestly, they can make us feel genuinely less alone. But, and this is a big but, that one-way street we just talked about, that's exactly where the potential for problems starts to creep in. This natural imbalance brings us to our second point, the one-way risk. And let me be super clear here, the danger isn't the bond itself. It's becoming over-reliant on it. It's when that easy one-way comfort becomes your main or maybe even your only way of handling your emotions. That's when things can start to get a little shaky. You see, our brains just love predictability. It makes us feel safe. So when a creator uploads every Tuesday at 4 p.m., our brain builds this little predictable comfort loop. We expect it, we watch it, we get a nice little feel-good hit, and we feel stable. The problem, though, is that this loop is super fragile. If that creator suddenly takes a break or switches up their content, it can knock our own emotions way off balance, kind of out of nowhere. And this quote really hits the nail on the head for how modern media works. A creator's consistency, same time, same vibes, same day of the week, it feels like the reliability we look for in our real-life friends. It creates this powerful illusion of safety and security, even though all the emotional energy is flowing in just one direction. So, how can you tell? How do you know if your favorite creator is a healthy bit of fun or if it's maybe tipping over into an unhealthy kind of dependency? Well, that brings us to a quick little self-check. Healthy versus overload. All right, so what does a healthy bond look like? Well, it makes you curious. It motivates you. Maybe you pick up a new hobby or learn something cool because of them. But when you get into overload territory, yeah, the signs are different. We're not just talking about being a little bummed if they miss an upload. We're talking about your mood literally crashing. Or something called identity drift, where you might start using their catchphrases or adopting their opinions as your own without even thinking about it. And the big one, you find yourself skipping plans with actual friends just so you can catch their latest video. Okay, so if any of those overload signs felt a little familiar, don't panic. The answer isn't to just swear off the internet and cut these connections out completely. It's all about getting back some equilibrium. And that leads us right into our final and most practical section, finding your balance. So how do you actually do that? Here are 3 real concrete steps you can try. First, get intentional about it. Actually, schedule your time watching creators, just like you would schedule going to the gym. Second, pair it with reality. Make a point to connect with a real person on the same day. Call a friend, have dinner with your family. And third, track what triggers you. If you notice your mood taking a nosedive, just jot down what was going on. Just being aware of it is a huge first step to getting back in the driver's seat. At the end of the day, it really all boils down to this one simple, powerful idea. It's totally fine for media to be a tool that helps you feel a bit better for a little while, but it just can't be your only tool for emotional regulation. Real-world relationships, hobbies, and taking care of yourself, that's the foundation for real emotional strength. And that really just leaves us with a question for you. I mean, these kinds of connections, they're not going anywhere. So being mindful is everything. As you go about your day, just take a second to think about your own habits. How are you going to balance your bonds, both the real ones and the parasocial ones, to make sure they're actually supporting you?